Men who smell good are perceived as far more attractive as those who don't. Most men, they assume that you need an expensive cologne to achieve this. You don't. I'm going to show you how to smell great every single day with what you already have in your bathroom. So number one, stop wearing deodorant. When it comes to smelling good, most men, they fall into two groups. The first group, they love to spray themselves with cologne. The second group, they just wear deodorant. However, there is a third group of men who do something slightly different, and because of this, they smell better than every other guy. You see, the main cause of body odor is sweat, but deodorant, it doesn't block sweat. What it does is that it only masks any bad odors. Cologne doesn't block sweat either. It does the same. It just masks any odor and makes you smell nice. The problem is that sometimes your body odor is strong enough that it breaks through any of those barriers. This is why the third group of men not only use both, but as well, they use antiperspirants. Antiperspirants use aluminum salts to block your sweat glands, reducing the sweat in the process, which prevents any bad odor. So instead of just applying one of these three products, here's how you should do it instead. You will start by applying antiperspirant the night before to allow the aluminum salts to block your sweat glands and your pores overnight. In the morning, you will apply deodorant, and then you apply your favorite fragrance. That's it. You do this one tip, forget about everything else in the video, and you will smell better than any other guy out there. But this is just the bare minimum. If you really want to smell good all day, you need to keep watching because I have 6 more steps that most men have never heard of. Number 2, never wear clothing that's made from this fabric. Most men just throw on any t-shirt or hoodie and they call it a day. But what you don't realize is that the fabrics that you're wearing is what's making you smell bad. Even if you put on cologne, deodorant, and antiperspirant. You see, in a recent study, a team of researchers put threads of cotton, mercurized cotton, viscose, wool, nylon, and polyester inside a bottle of artificial sweat. After 24 hours, they dried all the samples and used a mass spectrometer to analyze the odor. Here's where it gets interesting. The fabrics that smelled the least, even in sweat, were cotton and mercurized cotton. Nylon and wool, they smelled the worst at the start, but then slowly they became less and less smelly as the day progressed. But polyester, it smelled the worst out of all of them and actually made the smell worse over time. So if you're gonna be around a girl or you're going on a date, you need to make sure that you're only wearing clothing that's made from cotton or cotton-like fibers. You wanna avoid polyester and nylon, and whatever you do, even though these polyester shirts are breathable, air wicking, whatever sweat you have, making it smell worse. 3, don't make these 5 mistakes to have fresh breath. If you avoid these 5 breath mistakes, you'll never even need to chew gum again in your life. You'll just always have fresh, minty breath. First, never store your toothbrush in an open room, especially with a toilet. When you flush that toilet, bacteria spreads through the air and ends up on your toothbrush. Instead, keep your toothbrush in a drawer or in a closed cabinet. Second, you don't have to brush your teeth for 2 minutes. You just gotta make sure you're doing it well. Let me explain. You see, in a recent study, they found that if you brush your teeth properly for less time, it was more effective at removing plaque and bacteria than you brushing longer but with poor technique. To brush correctly, you use gentle pressure. You should line your toothbrush at a 45-degree angle against your gums and then brush in up and down circular motions. And if you really want to take it to the next level, don't use a manual toothbrush, use an electric toothbrush. As studies show that toothbrushes that vibrate are 10 times more effective at removing plaque. This is why I always recommend using an electric toothbrush. The one that I've been using lately, which is revolutionary, is called the Socas Neo 2. It uses high-frequency vibrations to help clean your teeth, which a lot of toothbrushes do, but it also has built-in water flosser inside the toothbrush head. I've never seen anything like that. I remember the first time seeing an ad for it, I knew I had to pick it up. It was the best decision I've ever did. On top of that, it has a 30-day battery life, meaning that I don't gotta charge this thing every day. And because it has 3 intensity settings, I can find the intensity that works best with my teeth and my gum line. And every time I brush my teeth with this thing, my teeth just feel clean. Next, never use flavored flossing, as many of these contain forever chemicals that can increase the risk of cancer. Instead, you should look for unflavored and unwaxed floss, as this is just a natural fiber that you're using on your teeth and gum line. Now look, both waxed and unwaxed floss are equally effective at removing plaque. We just prefer unwaxed because it doesn't have any forever chemicals. But if you want the most effective method here, use a water flosser, because studies have found that water flossers are more effective than manual flossers at removing plaque and reaching hard to reach areas. And like I mentioned, I don't have both a water flosser and a toothbrush. That's annoying. My Socas toothbrush is a water flosser built in, having a 0.6 millimeter water stream, which can clean any crevice of your mouth. It also makes flossing easy to integrate. I don't need to be buying floss or have two separate devices. I literally just brush my teeth, turn on the water flosser at the same time, and now I'm flossing my teeth as well. It is the most efficient way to take care of your teeth. That's why I said this thing is revolutionary. And if you go look at their sites and their reviews, they are 35 times more effective at removing any teeth stains and 100% more at removing plaque. Bro, if you want to have fresh breath forever, you don't have to be buying gum and mouthwash. No, buy a good toothbrush. And if you buy something like this that's both a toothbrush and a water flosser, bro, your dentist is gonna thank me after this one. And right now for Black Friday, you're gonna get this toothbrush at a crazy low steal. If I were you, I'd click the link down below. Go check out SoCas right now. Look at the toothbrush. This thing's crazy, bro. Fourth, don't chew flavored gum or gum with sugar. You see, gum can freshen your breath temporarily, but the sugar in the gum can feed the bacteria in your mouth, making your bad breath smell worse. You want to stick to sugar-free gum or gum that has a sugar alternative like xylitol, which has actually been found to improve the health of your teeth. And finally, you want to make sure you swap your toothbrush at least every 3 months. Toothbrush bristles are typically made from nylon, which easily fray over time. This is also why electric toothbrushes are amazing, because with them, you just have to replace the head, which is incredibly inexpensive versus having to replace your manual toothbrush every single 3 months. But if you avoid these 5 mistakes I just mentioned, I'm telling you, you're gonna have fresh breath for the rest of your life. And if you really want to start at the root cause, it starts with your toothbrush. If you guys want to check out SoCas and see the toothbrush that I've been using recently, this 2-in-1 water flosser toothbrush, bro, revolutionary. If you guys want to check it out at a crazy steal, click that link down below. Fourth, you're gonna triple the strength of your pheromone. Most men know that smelling good makes you attractive, but what you don't know is that you have a natural smell, which is a pheromone, that makes you even more attractive. You see, when you sweat, you produce bacteria that can cause a bad scent, but we also produce pheromones, which is like our body's own cologne. So I'm gonna show you some quick hacks to enhance your natural smell before your date. First, you want to abstain from fapping for at least 3 days before your date or before you see this girl. When you stop, your body experiences a short-term spike in testosterone and estrogen, both of which boost pheromone production. On the day of your date, I want you to eat foods like parsley, parsnips, or truffle. These contain androstenone and androstenol. Both of these compounds enhance your pheromones. Lastly, you want to work up a good sweat a few hours before your date. The best way to do this is go for a run with a few extra layers or go into a sauna if you have one. When you sweat heavily in a short amount of time, your body produces even more pheromones afterwards. By this point, you're using deodorant and antiperspirant correctly. You're wearing the right fabrics to make sure you smell great. Your breath, it's gonna be fresh forever. And now you've boosted your natural scent, which is your pheromone, to make you insanely attractive. But I have 3 more tips left, which is the most important ones of this entire video, which is picking the right fragrance so you actually smell good for the rest of the day. Number 5, you're gonna use the right cologne depending your age. Picking the right cologne is crucial for smelling great every day, but picking the right cologne is less about what you think smells nice and more about what your age is and what image you're trying to portray. So here's what cologne you should wear based on your age. If you're a teenager between the ages of 13 and 20, you want to choose a scent that makes you appear more mature, but you don't want to be so strong that it's overwhelming to everybody in your classroom. So pick colognes with woody notes like sandalwood or cedar. If you're a guy between the ages of 20 and 30 years old, women are just looking to have fun, bro. So choose a scent that reflects that vibe. So you're gonna go for fresh and citrusy notes like lemon or mandarin to give off that playful, energetic vibe. Finally, if you're a guy that's over 30, you'll want a fragrance that's powerful and strong with spicy scents like pepper or cinnamon. This is gonna help you stand out and project maturity, which is gonna give you more confidence and dominance. Number 6, use the right cologne for your race. You have to understand, we're all different races and we all produce different amount of sweat and odor. As a result, all women from different races prefer different scents and different notes as what they find attractive. You have to understand one thing, that the strength of your cologne depends on the concentration of oil inside that fragrance. So, based on your ethnicity, I'm gonna show you what concentration of oil you should use. According to studies, Asian men typically sweat less and have less body odor. So, if you're Asian, go for a lighter cologne with a fragrance concentration between 2 and 5%. Latin American men, like myself, we produce slightly more odor. So, bro, I grew up around fragrances. My family loved this stuff. You want a concentration between 5 and 15%. Now we have white men, which generally produce the highest amount of sweat and body odor. So for them, a fragrance concentration between 15 and 20% is ideal. And finally, we have African men, who tend to produce the most sweat and body odor, should opt for a cologne that has a fragrance oil concentration between 20 and 30%. Number 7, use these 5 hacks to enhance your cologne. Now you know what cologne notes to pick and what concentration to pick. Now, I'm going to show you how to enhance whatever fragrance you're using. So here are 5 simple hacks to make your fragrance last all day. First, studies show that cologne lasts longer on men with oily skin. So if you're a guy that has normal or dry skin, apply a thin layer of coconut oil on your skin right before applying the cologne. This will not only make your skin healthier, but it's going to make the cologne last longer. Next, you're going to avoid spraying cologne right before exercising. Your sweat, it's going to break down the sweat and make it fade faster. For the same reason is why you shouldn't apply cologne under your armpits. When in doubt, always use a scent that has vanilla, as it has been proven to be universally attractive. Next, you always want to store your cologne in a cool and a dark place to prevent both the heat and the light from breaking down the notes. And finally, never shake the cologne bottle or rub your wrist when you're applying it. The friction can cause the scent to break down faster. Instead, you should just spray and walk away. You start doing these 7 hacks I just showed you, boys. Bro, you're gonna smell better than any guy.